Hey guys, I'm in love with my sister.
Sick of it!
I'm sorry that I haven't
Sick
uploaded
of my
a video in a
stupid
long
life!
time.
Yeah,
Everything's
all of
totally
you
fine.
people! Sick of waking up every morning doing this, all of you!
I kissed my girlfriend's dad.
What? Satire and satirical humor originate from the Latin word lex satura, meaning miscellany or medley. Satire was and still is used as a form of social commentary to point out certain aspects of society and ridicule them to benefit one's narrative. It is also used in videos like partying at ex-wife's grave. How did we get here? But does it really matter how we got here? I don't really care how we got here. I want to know what here is. Dan Hentschel has been posting on YouTube since 2022. He originally was on TikTok, but his account got banned for reasons we'll get into later. When he started on YouTube, his content was mainly just his videos from TikTok.
Just say it! Say it! Say you're having a horrible time and you never want to see me again and I'm ugly and everything I say is stupid!
Like, for example, his manipulation guides. Yes, Dan Hentschel banned TikTok compilation, manipulation, and gaslighting. That's real. I watched this entire video. I don't even speak to women to manipulate them, but when it does happen, I'm gonna be a D1 gaslighter. And plus, I listen to the strokes in a bit of Arctic Monkeys. According to Google, I'm basically a male manipulator. This Dan is beta male Dan because of the hair. That's it. But in how to deal with seasonal depression, we can see Dan with a buzz cut, still some hair, but we're getting somewhere.
I'm sitting in a tree across the street with binoculars, trying to get a glimpse of its private.
Then, what happened? Dan Hentschel banned from TikTok. This is the beginning of a new era. Bald and in the car of confidence. And ever since then, not only did this car become his home, but the recording studio where the best stories mankind has ever written were told. I'm going to give you 3 examples for the titles before we dive deeper into his content. Why my confession meant nothing. I get turned on when patients cry. And my nephew lived. One thing you need to know is Dan is made up of several personalities, each of which having their own storylines. Some have one videos, others have full-on pentologies. So with that being said, what happened? Dan Hentschel banned from TikTok.
If you're not being censored, then that means you're not doing anything interesting as an artist.
Yes, Dan, judging from your deleted videos, your work as an artist is worthy of suppression. He then goes through everything that happened that day, including his wife going into labor, him finding out there's a 70mm IMAX across the street from the hospital, him finding out he missed the birth of his child. That was mentioned in the YouTube short. He then holds the baby, but more importantly, he finds out he was banned from TikTok. This is also mentioned in a YouTube short. He then gives the baby to his mother-in-law, wakes up in the psych ward, and assumes the baby is with his mother-in-law, segueing perfectly into the next video. Baby is missing and I can't remember anything.
I don't know if any of you have ever taken a type of drug called benzodiazepines, but they are going to play a pretty important role in this story.
You know it's gonna be a good story when Dan mentions a main character is a sedative narcotic. He talks about his in-laws.
I don't even want to get into all the reasons why they can't afford their own hotel room like a normal family would in this situation, because that would involve me doing a 40-hour video about all of the mistakes they've ever made in the history of their whole family lineage.
And how they lost a baby. Because apparently they left it at the hospital. They also try to call the cops, but Dan, being the responsible adult, tells the cops,
I don't know what this lady just told you, but disregard it because there's no problem. We've got it all under control. Goodbye. Hang up the phone. Throw in the garbage disposal.
Absolute alpha power move. He goes back to the hospital, and then we get a sneak peek to another video.
If you remember when the situation with my ex happened last year, this is the same hospital.
After the hospital people tell him to get the police involved, he says no, goes home. The police are there because of the phone call made a while ago. Thankfully, Dan invested everything into speech, and they left. Now here comes the big part.
I took some
benzodiazepines. Let's go! I love narcotics! He takes them on Thursday night, but then wakes up on Saturday morning, realizes everyone is gone. His wife is gone, in-laws are gone, the baby still missing. So he does what any functioning human would do and goes to the mountains to relax, but then mentions this.
My friends in Washington have been kind of working their magic. So I have a lot of tendrils in a lot of different places, and people take really good care of me.
Already giving us some insight as to how Dan is a super powerful being. I Will Get What I Deserve has a lovely intro. I mean, look at him. This video has the same aura as the Elliot Rodger video. You're gonna find out later on, this will be a very common occurrence. He said he never loved his wife. How lovely, Dan. I would have never guessed that.
I wish that you all knew how amusing it is to see your miserable lives.
Desires.
I am inevitable.
All because girls have never been attracted to me. Girls gave.
See guys, I told you, he is Elliot. You can really see where his mind was during this time. With his next video, why is death a bad thing? Do I need to explain this one? Then we get a new personality in the car, the therapist, a psychotherapist. And judging from this title, this should be a treat. Well, not really. It's quite tame. It's just him saying that mental illness may or may not be real. We don't know. And psychiatrists will prescribe you a medication to find out what it does. Now, this next video is a treat. I'm sick of my stupid life. This is the beginning of a new form of content. Short mental breakdowns.
I never asked to be born. Never. I never consented to this shitty life. Why?
Don't worry though, the same day he uploaded, sorry for flipping out earlier, therapist video, why therapists hate people with BPD. We do get some actual insight into BPD, like idealization, devaluation, the fear of abandonment, but also mentions that his ex-wife had BPD. Why do you mention it now? Remember him saying that mental illnesses may or may not be real? This time, he doubles down.
My video yesterday, I talked a little bit about the idea that mental illnesses aren't even real, which is true.
This is true. People need to realize that they can't just blame ADHD for not being able to focus. No, it's your fault for watching too much Skibidi Toilet and brain rot YouTube, and now you can't focus anymore. After this, we get a significant event in the Dan Hentschel lore, the death of his.
But let me ask you this. What if I killed that person?
There has been a terrible tragedy.
My ex-wife and her parents were involved in an accident, and they are no longer with us. Hello.
Wait, what? That's right. Dan is talking about his ex-wife's death in a Taco Bell drive-thru. He goes into more detail in the next video. And by the way, it is not his fault. It was extremely dry in California, which made her parents' house more susceptible to a house fire. If you want more evidence, boom.
When your friend doesn't answer a text, the first thing you don't immediately think is they're dead, unless you have some sort of anxiety disorder, which again, I'm sure most of my fan base actually does.
Now you know exactly where he would hide the bodies. If you want to know if he did it, just go look and you'll find nothing, proving that he's innocent. Oh, god damn it, Dan.
Eddie, please, God, make sure that when you upload this video, you set the visibility settings to private.
Oh, you see, this is all Eddie's fault. Dan is never responsible for anything bad that happens. Don't worry, guys. You can tell that all of this is just a large joke. Because if he was actually guilty, he wouldn't say this stuff.
Obviously, I did.
It's like how when someone gets accused of texting little boys, they deny it, which is the opposite of what they actually did. Dan says he did it. Opposite of that is that he didn't do it. See, next video, he says it was all satire.
I hope that yesterday you enjoyed my satirical joke video where I said things that I don't actually think. Obviously,
I did.
Dude, seeing this video is like having a character break the fourth wall.
Ooh, son Amy, spicy.
Except the character is a real person, but you don't know if what they're saying is actually real or not. An example of this is the next video, story time, how my ex died and am I responsible? This is a perfect example of people not knowing if they should take him seriously or not. When in reality, everything that's being said is completely true, and you need to realize that Dan is the victim of bad people.
I immediately run out the door, and I run into my car, and I start making a TikTok.
You fucking go, King! He just seems so unfazed. Like, after his ex dies, he goes to Mexico, and when he comes back, the cops are waiting for him at the airport. They take him to the judge, and he doesn't care. I hope this is real. This video's purpose was to plead insanity. Didn't work, what it was like to go to jail. Now, this is the point of insanity. The main storyline has been complete, and now we dive into the minor storylines. For example, the priest with his first video, the priest master. God damn it. I just want you to know that he gets all the good titles.
You better hope you're not real, because if you are, I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna fucking beat your ass. But I'm not gonna apologize or delete it because I don't think I did anything wrong.
I don't know if I'll be going in chronological order or talk about every video. Unless they're really funny, then yes, I will talk about this.
Preparing my fantasy that I'm going to focus on through the interviews. For me, usually that's stuff like cocking and pet.
First up, the soldier, only appearing in 2 videos, those being Have I Killed Someone? Military Q&A, and I Shot My Waitress. From his first appearance, he is portrayed as a mentally unwell person who has a deep fascination with death and true crime, and in the next video, may or may not be an alcoholic and sociopath that could just be a part of the main Dan Hentschel personality.
Criminal. And I start making a TikTok.
Not this criminal.
Fuck!
I fucking suck at fucking people!
Here's the next video.
What's up, y'all? It's my first day of being a cop.
Male feminist. This is probably the personality that made me most uncomfortable because of how accurate it is. Like, some of the other personalities are accurate to what they portray, but it's absurd, so it's funny. This one's a little too accurate, and it's not absurd. I'd rather this guy be like a mass murderer than a male feminist. I mean, alright.
Hi, everybody. Just a quick warning. There's a brief part of this story that is racist.
Strong start.
A couple weeks.
So apparently, he found a grenade in his grandfather's stuff and would play with this grenade as a child while yelling Allahu Akbar. And then thought it would be funny to do this as a fully grown man in a public space. But this time, he pulled the pin and the grenade fucking exploded. Do you want to know what's the funniest part about this?
And then I scurried out of there. So this was about a half hour ago.
That's right, he threw a live grenade at his friend, ran away, and 30 minutes later decided to record a YouTube video. He just killed a bunch of people. What does he think? Oh, this will look great on my YouTube channel. The teacher.
Students are all morons!
Yeah, he seems alright. This personality is quite important, so let's just move back to the therapist. First of all, ADHD is fake and you're a baby. I think you know exactly what he's gonna say.
You're lazy, sweetie.
You can instantly tell how qualified of a therapist he is by watching the next video. One of my patients unalive themselves. You can tell he's a good therapist because he's willing to treat one of these selfish gremlins who only think about themselves and know how Dan would feel knowing someone has died. Cringe things people say in therapy.
Well, you know, I want to die.
The hottest patient I've ever had. Let's go through all the stages of this video. Stage 1, meeting the patient.
Hello, Mr. Hentschel, I'm your thrill.
Stage 2, the therapy session.
She basically said, I have schizophrenia and I'm really suicidal.
Stage 3.
I noticed the fucking hog's ass.
Stage 4, existential crisis.
I feel like nothing is going right for me and I feel like I can't do anything right and I feel like no matter what I do, I'm never going to be happy ever again.
Stage 5, fear of the IRS.
Oh my god. I owe the IRS so much money.
I get turned on when patients cry.
Because I realized this is my gift.
The fuck you mean
This
it's
is
a
my
gift?
God.
You're cocky once boing boing while listening to people talk about how the whole family died in the house fire. I tased a patient. He literally stalked a girl to help her overcome a fear. This is why he is the best therapist. He's going out of his way to help others on his off time. I hate my life. I'm assuming this is the therapist because he did the same thing the next day and it was the therapist. The healthcare worker, not entirely sure what field they work in. Editing Max, here it's medical, you fucking idiot. But the first video he appears in is microdosing before surgery.
I am normal. I am normal. I am normal.
I think he's right. This next part may relate to another personality. Can cancer patients get over themselves? Now, I believe this part of the nurse personality carries over to another personality that appears in the video, My Wife's Cancer Ruined Our Sex Life.
I'm horny.
Probably one of the best intros I've seen in a while. I should probably start my videos like that. The reason I say these two personalities are similar is because they both think cancer patients are selfish and don't show much empathy towards them. See this? He's not crying because his wife is dying. He's crying because his cocky got no boing boing. This lack of empathy also goes into other aspects of his life. For example, pets.
Because they have convinced themselves that this thing has any clue what's going on at any moment.
His own family.
And then when I explain to people, actually, I don't give a shit that my family's dead. I'm fine. I got over it. Then they call me, Elliot Roger.
His loved ones. This can help us find out which personalities differ from the main one. See here, I saw my grandma pleasing herself portrays a different personality. This is because the real Dan hates old people and his family. Okay, but really, I need to talk about this video, dude. Just look at him.
Let me just say first, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Why is this so real? Dan, what happened? This isn't like the funny, my ex-wife died Lamau stuff. What hurt you? Next video, by the way.
Yes! Yes! I'm so happy!
Someone in the comments said that these two videos were uploaded within 2 hours of each other. I checked, and yeah, that's true. Oh, comedy. Yeah, because this is comedy. The man breaks down into tears after replicating one of his grandma's moans. Like, seriously, who thinks this is comedy? Me. I mean, since we are talking about his grandmother, let's go down the list of his other grandparents. So he ate his other grandma, his grandfather was a serial killer, and the other one died while looking at his dirty video. God, I wish that were me. He starts the video crying, but I'm sorry, nothing will overtake the trauma behind those eyes after watching his grandma just Jorking it, dude. We can safely assume that all these grandparent stories are part of a different personality that likes old people. Wrong. I and my grandmother needs to be in the main personality because he mentions,
Some of you may already know this, but I grew up in Maryland.
and his sister is also from Maryland. This sister needs to be part of the main personality because she caused one of the most important storylines in Dan. How do you fucking say Hench history? The August.
How do you know that he's never gonna walk again? He's only 12 years old.
How I got out of a DUI is the first video where his nephew appears.
I completely forgot. My sister and her Augustus Gloop of a son.
He makes his appearance with Dan's sister, who we hate, so we know this is the main personality. This all takes place after drinking before work and has to pick up his sister from the airport, so he gets a rental car and drinks on the way there. When he picks them up, he does the most logical thing and air horns them and drives through the mountains to show off Los Angeles. Now, Dan was driving in the middle of the road, but that was because he was sleepy. Remember, drunk drivers are less dangerous than sober drivers. The evil cops pull over, yada yada yada, the car falls off the mountain, he runs away, my nephew is paralyzed, and somehow it's my fault.
My whole point, and all I was trying to say in the video, at the end of the video yesterday was, not who, well yeah, who gives a shit?
Here's a misconception. I'm in love with my sister does not refer to the mother of Augustus Gloop, but instead, this is an alternate personality. Remember, my grandmother confirms that he and his sister are from Maryland, and this video says that she's from Pennsylvania, and a later video in the Augustus Gloop storyline confirms that they are from Maryland, so this is not canon. Orangutan stole my phone and Zoo just laughed is a side quest. Same with my sister found the camera, but the intro is so funny, I need to play it.
Okay, so my sister found a camera in the bathroom of my house.
So we can skip those videos and get to the best video in the Dan Hentschel history.
Hi everybody, I hit my nephew with my car purposely. And not only was it not wrong at all, I should get an award for doing it.
TLDR, Dan saved the day.
And she said, no, he is going to... Can I say it on here? I don't... Shoot up the school!
Thank God Dan came in to save the day from the evil Augustus Gloop. We can sleep easily knowing he's dead. Final 3 episodes. My nephew is actually my son.
She took one of my jars. I have a bunch of jars of genetic material. Basically, every New Year's, I try to time it so that at the stroke of midnight, literally, I provide a genetic sample.
She took one of the jars and got pregnant with Dan's seed.
It should have been me, not him.
My sister is actually my daughter. Holy shit, what happened to Dan? So not only did his sister use a jar, apparently his mother accidentally used a jar to conceive his sister. I made a family chart in class to show how fucked up this is. I don't even think it's right anymore. One comment perfectly sums up how I feel. In both a literal and luck-based way, I think Dan's problems will be solved if he stopped into a jar at midnight each New Year's. Don't worry, we end this series with Dan in a much better headspace.
I feel so much better now. I feel like a dark cloud has lifted off of my brain. My family died.
I won't cover this because you people are just gonna accuse him of killing his family when in reality it was a crazy homeless person. Then we get introduced to the device that may actually be responsible for the personalities.
I'm here because Doc is looking for the orb.
Orb? Master Rusty has found orb? Did he find it under the couch while looking for change?
The first appearance of the orb was with the therapist in 1 year of therapy in 30 seconds where we see whatever the fuck this is. I swear to God there was a video about the orb ruining his life, but then he deleted it. Trust me, please. Okay, so then he comes back and explains that the orb is capable of traveling the multiverse, which opens up a new theory in the Hentschelverse. The theory that all these personalities are Dan from different universes, which explains several inconsistencies with some of the stories. Like, how can he be in love with his sister from Pennsylvania when they're from Baltimore? How can he be a priest, therapist, teacher, and criminal? But it doesn't explain how his sister is 25 and his nephew is 13. I hope you see the problem. That's okay, he doesn't even know. He thinks his family had the answers, but they all died, so we'll never know. The next spin-off episode of the Augustus Gloop story is My New Girlfriend is Perfect. There is just one problem, where he talks about his girlfriend, Adolf.
Her name is Adolf, and I think she was dating my nephew for a little bit, believe it or not. She's you know,
I swear to God, if they have a kid, I need to update the family tree. I will go berserk. Someone pointed out that Addie might be a trans girl. Dan Hentschel backup compilation
You have
coming
never been
soon. My friend is missing and I'm really scared. Okay, this one I actually thought was real. You know what? I still don't know if this is fake or not. He actually looks stressed out in this video. I'm not even the only one who thinks this. There are other people in the comments who think it's real. I mean, the next video is I'm lost in the woods and alone. So, okay, it might be real, might be fake. The next video after that, he's going back to work at his Target job that he lost a long time ago because of cocky want. Boing, boing. Going in the ocean for the last time. Such a graceful creature. Okay, you're not gonna believe this. This is the next episode. What the fuck happened?
I was sort of joking with her. I was like, you know, I'm starting to think maybe that you're making me feel bad on purpose, right? Maybe you're putting something in my drink or something. Obviously, she would never do something like that, but
We literally came full circle from him manipulating his partners to him getting manipulated and believing that the nacho cheese is saving him. Dan Hentschel represents irony. There was apparently a controversy. Someone in the comments said that he shoplifted mustard. I checked his Twitter. I found this. He got canceled. So his response? Go to the beach and film a video there. These two videos are just filler. Okay, what did I skip?
I'm the Joker!
Joker terrorizes Home Depot. Oh no, he's in a public place around other people in Joker makeup. Dad, what are you doing? The Joker wants to kill himself. This better be a different personality. There's no way he got married to Adolf. And why would you ever want to divorce the Joker? I think going to Home Depot was a bit too much for Dan, so he has to hit that bottle again.
What are we doing today, Joker? We are getting grass!
Not even his ex-wife is safe in the realm of the dead. Yes, this is the same cemetery that partying at ex-wife's grave was filmed. He stopped posting for a little bit, which scared me. Then body cam footage. Why? This public humiliation ritual in front of the community continues for some time. Once he is let go because he is innocent, as usual, he goes to the police station to get the body cam footage, but is denied. And we get the most alpha Dan Hentschel quote of all time. I politely informed her she was lying. TLDR for the next video, here he, I am getting gang stalked. That was the majority of the Dan Hentschel videos. There are some that I couldn't mention because of time, but I'll show some clips of the ones I liked but didn't mention.
Hi everybody! I wanted to show you around my ex's apartment complex.
do I look like a guy who would push a kid off a cliff to you? She loved getting jiggy with it. And she died.
No! She dumped me! She dumped me! Ah, no!
Hi everybody. I hope you enjoyed my comedy video.
I briefly mentioned it, but there are also some deleted videos, like Inside the Mind of a YouTuber with 100,000 subscribers.
Hello everyone. Have I ever thought about molesting someone?
Yeah!
There was also some sort of show he went on, and I swear, he is wearing the exact same clothes as I have nude art of my sister, minus the gold chain with a gold ring. It's the same fit, same shirt, same glasses, same shorts, same fucking shoes. By the way, he has an Instagram and a Twitter, but what happened to his TikTok? Okay, so apparently his TikTok ended his teaching career. You don't really need to watch the video, just read the comments and you'll know exactly what happened.
I could access them in a way that they were not, that other teachers typically would.
He never specifies what got him banned from TikTok. In the teacher vid, he said he got fired because of his online content and conduct in class in mid-February. And I found this on his Twitter. Yes, it was late February, but he probably posted it later.
Every teacher has that one student. The one who makes you run a little faster to class.
Diddle kids, it's no good diddling kids.
Yes, this is what got him banned on TikTok. More proof, this was posted a few days before the ban, and a few days after the ban, he posts this. I believe it. The reason he lost his therapy license is also on his TikTok. I haven't found it, but I did find him crying about it, so it did happen.
I hate being a therapist! Ah! Shut up! Nobody cares! This is the only honest advice you're ever gonna get from a therapist. Get over it!
I think there was also a scandal of him making a fake fundraiser. He did apologize and refund everyone, but still, compared to his regular content, it's very similar, which kind of confirms the sentiment of if Dan ever gets to a real controversy, it's gonna be extremely confusing to tell if he's telling the truth or not. Why do you tell twice? Now, after seeing all of this, all of the insanity, there's something involving Dan that can top anything that he has made when it comes to being abnormal. This is a trigger warning. You are not ready for this content. Here we go. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. That is Daniel Hentschel. Same with this and this and this too. Yes, he used to look normal, he used to have friends, and he used to have clothes that fit him. Seriously, you ever notice how comically large his suit jacket is? The part I just can't get out of my mind is that Dan knew these people and was probably friends with them. And I just want to know, was he always like this? When his former friends look at his page, do you ever think they saw this coming? Was Dan always like this? Because I'm sorry, no matter how strange he was back then, you cannot predict that he would post a video of him walking around Hollywood Boulevard wearing Joker face paint. I can't emphasize how uncanny these photos are, because if I'm being honest, he was quite attractive in these photos. I'm not kidding. And it just perplexes me how he went from this charming young man to TikTok manipulation guru to My Terrible Life Part 10 million. The name Daniel Hentschel has a fucking aura to it, I swear. Los Angeles, I'm doing some stand-up at Elation Theater in a few weeks, and I'd love to see you there. I'll be joined by my friends Dan Hentschel. And there is more I can talk about when it comes to this man, like how many shirts this dude has. I think you can count it on 2 hands. I'm not even kidding anymore. But I think something I should talk about is how many people take his content seriously. I think I said something about this before, but there are people out there who think what he says is serious, like the teacher one. There are people who actually thought he was a teacher preying on his students. It's mostly on Instagram and Twitter. It's alright though, because Twitter is filled with bots and misery, and Instagram users are unlovable. YouTube comments are great though. You could probably commit a crime, and if your fan base likes you, they'd support you 100% of the way. They think it's real and get offended. I think it's real, and I laugh. Sorry, liberals. It's called dark humor when a man walks around his ex's apartment. This also shows how good he is at playing characters when people believe it. Either that or he's actually insane. If I'm being honest, I know it's all a bit because there are too many events that contradict each other, but deep down, I tell myself it's real. I'm sorry. I know some of the things he talks about can be considered horrible, but that's the funny part. The fact that some of these titles are so absurd, yet the stories are somewhat grounded in reality.
I went up to her and I said, "Hi, I don't know you. I'm literally only coming to talk to you to do you a favor. You are embarrassing yourself, and it is pathetic." And we started dating.
I know way too much about this man, but I love it, okay? It's at least refreshing to see a dude record videos in his car instead of trying to sell MREs to kids. You know, I can at least appreciate this dude's talent for being able to create 40-minute stories and being able to perform them so perfectly. But if I'm wrong, I'm actually praising his mental illness. But as a wise man once said,
loving someone's mental illness is basically like saying, you're perfect because you're imperfect. Before we talk about what's the most attractive mental illness,